Today we are going to discuss about the Xpress framework and Xpress module. Before that, we'll see how we can create a server in node.js. So we can easily create the server with the help of node.js. So hope you might aware about IIS server, which we are using for ASP.NET. Apache we are using for PHP. So in the same way, if we are using node.js, we can create our own server as well. So to create our own server, we can use the HTTP module. So we just need to include the we just need to write require HTTP. So to use the HTTP server, we just need to use the require HTTP, and then we can create our own server. So HTTP module is a built-in module which help us to create a server. So for example, this is the code of how we can create a server. So I'm just copying this code and just opening the node.js2 folder also. And then this node I'm taking in the Visual Studio Code. And then I'm just creating a page. So let's say my page is server.js. And here I'm just pasting the code which I have copied. And then I'm just taking this, the new line. And then just formatting the code. So this is the code by which we can easily create a server. So here we are using the HTTP module to create server. So we have just included it. And then we are using http.createServer method. So HTTP is a object of create server. And then I'm just doing create server, and then here I'm passing the function. So in this function, I have written response.write 120, so 200, sorry. So we are just giving the response of 200, and the content type is HTML. And I'm just writing response.write hello world, and then response ended. The server is going to listen on port number 3000. So 3000 is the port number. And then we are just displaying this message in the console like our server is started. So I just want to run this code. So I need to open the terminal. And then here I can write node server.js. So you can see we are getting a message server listening on localhost 3000. It means we are getting this message. Now I'm going to just going into the browser. And then here I am typing localhost colon 3000. And you can see we are getting hello world, and then we are getting the response ended also. So we are getting both the hello world and the response ended. If you see here, hello world, and then here we have response ended. And the response hello world we are getting here, and then we are getting the response ended. And this is the header, which is 200. It means we are having the, so these are the HTTP response. So in response, we are just saying we are having the 200 in response. So this will send a response in the header to the request. And then here, this is just printing in the browser. And then in last, we are saying the response ended. Server listening on port 3000. And we are just displaying it. So you can see this is the output. So guys, this is how we are creating the server in Node.js. And it's very easy process. And even if you have noticed, we have created a server in 2 minutes. Otherwise, in other programming languages, we need to install so many things only for this server. But in Node.js, we do not need to install anything. Just the HTTP module, which is already there, which we need to use. And then we can run the server. Routing is basically whenever we want to redirect user from one page to another page without reloading the page, then we are using the concept of routing. So in the routing, we are just writing like we are just including the module. So for example, my module is HTTP, and then we can create a server, and then we are just taking the path from the URL, and then we are saying we are having the switch condition in which we are having the cases. So if there is nothing in the URL, just the localhost and the port number, which is 3000, then we'll get the message homepage. If you're going to put about in the URL, you can see the about us. And if you are going to put something else, it will go into the default. So let me run this code also. So I'm just creating a new page, which is I'm creating here only. I'm not doing any here only. Routing.js. Pasting the code here, and I'm just need to format it. So I'm formatting it. And now I want to run this code. So I'm just going into the terminal and writing node and then router.js. You can see we are getting the error. Why we are getting the error? Because it's already open. So last time we have not closed it. That's the reason we are getting the error. So let me try again. Trying to run this. You can see it again open on the localhost colon 3000. So I'm just going here and refreshing the page. We are getting home page here. So we are getting home page because here we have written if nothing is there, just display the home page. So we are getting the home page. Or if you are just putting the about in the URL, so instead of this, if I'm just writing about, you can see we are getting the about us. And if you're writing something else like this, then we are getting not found. So it will goes here and we are getting the not found. And then we are giving the response 404. So normally whenever we want to give the response of not found, then we are giving the HTTP response, which is 404. So these are the codes basically which we are giving. And then if I'm saying only this, I'm writing about, so you can see the about us. And then I'm writing home, so we are getting not found. And if I'm not putting anything, then I'm getting home page. So this is how we are doing the routing. So basically routing we are using so that without reloading the page, we can display the content. So for example, if it is about, we are displaying this information. If just localhost colon port number, then this. If something else, then it's displaying not found. And again, we are creating the server and running on 3000 port number. So in this code, we have created the server also, and then we have used the routing as well. So server plus routing, both code is there. Okay, now I'm going to start the Xpress generator. So what I'm going to do is, let me, in the node.js 2 only, I'm just going to create a folder, and my folder name is Xpress Framework Project. This is my Xpress Framework project. It is blank right now. I'm just opening into the terminal. And I want to install the Xpress generator. So I need to write npm install Xpress generator. So I'm just writing npm install Xpress generator. So it will install the Xpress framework, Xpress generator basically in my system. Now, whenever you want to create the project in Xpress framework, what you need to do is, I mentioned on the second last page, this command we need to run express-e-f. So I'm just going to write it. I'm just clearing this and then express ef. So it's saying it is not found, express-e-f. Express command not found. Express. Let me search the command on the Google. We want to install the Express generator. So Express generator install. Let me install it globally. I have not installed it globally, so I want to install globally. So I'm just putting the -g. Okay, I'm getting the permission denied error. So I need to use the sudo also. So sudo, and then I need to run the same command, which is npm install express generator -g. So I'm just installing this globally. Now it is done. Okay, now I'm just trying the same express -e-f. So now if you see, what is happening is when I have run npm express-e-f, so all these folders files is created automatically. So you can see in this folder, you can see there is so many folders is created, and after that it's saying to install the dependency of this, we need to write npm install. So I'm just writing npm install. So it will install the dependency of the project. So npm install, and after that we need to have the after npm install we need to write npm start. So I'm just writing npm start. Okay, port 3000 it already used. Let me close this and close this also. I'm opening the new editor again and the node.js 2 here. This is our project folder. Going into the terminal, npm start. So whenever we do npm start, basically it start the project, and then I'm going in the browser and typing localhost :3000. So you can see we are getting the message welcome to Express. It means the Express framework is successfully installed in our system. So whenever the Express is successfully installed in our system, we are getting this message welcome to Express. So what is Express framework? Express framework basically, guys, it's just giving us the folder structure. So if you can see our project which I have created here, you can see all the files like app.js, this node module package, log package.json, all the folders is automatically created, as well as the file is also created. And then the public, then the routes, then the views. So these are the folder structure which is created. So all the files and folders is automatically created. And that's the reason, and now we are getting this when we are running the npm start. So what is happening is, first of all, if I'm opening this, you can see there is a app.js. What is app.js? Before that, let me explain you the package.json. So whenever we do npm start, basically it's open the package.json. And in package.json, you can see we are having the project name, then the version is defined, then the start, which is node bin www. And then in the dependency, I'm having these modules, the cookie parser, debug, EJS, Express, HTTP errors, and Morgan. So these are the modules which is installed by Express framework. So whenever we create a project with the help of Express, we are getting these modules, because Express framework already know whenever you are creating any project, these modules are mandatory. It means without using this module, you cannot have a full-fledged website. So whenever you are creating an application in Node.js, 95% time, you are going to use this module. So whenever we are using the Express framework, they always give us this modules in the package.json. And then whenever we do npm install, it will install all the dependencies, like it will install the cookie parser, debug, EJS, Express, and these HTTP errors and Morgan. And then if you can see, we are having an app.json. In package.json, whenever we are running npm start, So it goes into the start and it will check the start. So what is the command here? Node bin www. It means whenever I'm doing npm start, it will goes into this folder which is node bin www and check it. And then so I'm just doing npm start. So it will open this bin www folder. So it will open my bin www project basically. And then so I'm just doing the npm start. It means it goes to the bin folder and there is a www file is there. So this file is going to get executed. So whenever I'm doing npm start, it means this file is going to get executed. In this file, what we have written is, first we have just included the app. Now what is app? App is just app.js which we have created outside. And then we are having this debug we are using for debugging purpose. And then to create a server, we are using the HTTP module. So we have just included the module. Then we are saying our port number is 3000 and then just set the port number. So that's the reason if you do localhost colon 3000, you are getting the project. And then we are saying just create the server with this app object. So in the app object, it's contain the port number. And then we are just saying listen the server. If there is any error, just send the error. Otherwise, listen it. So basically, with the help of this code, we are just creating a server and then defining the port number also. And then if there is any error, we are saying like call the on error and otherwise just listen on the port number, which is 3000. So we are just, this is the code by which we are creating the server. Now here we have included the app also. Now what is app? App is nothing but this is app.js. So if you open the app.js, this is the most important file in this project. So in the app.js, you can see we are using the Xpress, create error, path, cookie parser, logger. So guys, if you can see here, we are using the Xpress also. Now this is not a framework. This is the Xpress module which we are using. So Xpress come in two flavors. One is Xpress framework. So with the help of Xpress framework, we have created a project and we are trying to install something. And Xpress module we are using to create the RESTful APIs. So Xpress framework is giving us the scaffolding, the folder structure, but this Xpress module is helping us to create the RESTful APIs. Okay. And then line number 6 and line number 7, we have just created two other pages, which is index and users. And this index and users inside the routes folder. So we are having one more folder that is called routes. And in the routes, we are having the index and users. And then we are just calling the app. So we have just initialized it Xpress and then the view path. So I've just added a view path here and then the templating engine. So the templating engine is EJS. So what is templating engine is basically, guys, if you know already HTML and JavaScript, both are two different things. We can use the JavaScript in HTML. There is no problem. But we need to use the script tag. So it means whenever you want to use the JavaScript in HTML, you need to write the script tag always. But with the help of templating engine, they are defining some attributes inside the JavaScript only. With the help of that, we can create an HTML. So we do not need to write the HTML and JavaScript separately. So I will give you the example, then you are able to understand. For the time being, you can just remember this is the templating engine which we are using here. And then I just want to use the logger. Then I'm saying I want this into the JSON format. The URL encode I don't want. Then I'm using the cookie parser. Then I have just given the public folder and then I have written app.use. So this is the routing part. So I'm saying like if there is nothing in the URL, call the index router. And where is index router? Index router is there is the router's index. Otherwise, if there is users in the URL, then call the users router. And what users router does, users router basically call the routes ka user.js. So this code is going to get executed. So when I'm saying there is nothing in the URL, then I'm saying call the index router. Otherwise, if there is users in the URL, call the users router. And then here I'm saying if there is any error, display the error. So guys, this is very important. So it means if there is nothing in the URL, call the index router. So now we need to check what is there in routes index. So I'm just going into the routes index. So there is a routes folder, and inside the routes folder there is a index.js, and this is the main code which we have written. So we are just including the Express because we want to have the RESTful APIs. Then I'm just using the router because I want to use the routing also. And then I've written router.get. It means in the router, if we are having this in the URL, just call this. And then we are saying response.render index title express. It means this is just an object which contain title express. So when I'm saying response.render, it means call the index and pass this object. So what what it will do is basically it will call the index.ejs because the rendering is the EJS, and then pass the object which contain title. So when I'm opening the index.ejs, you can see we are just using the title here and the here also, here also. And this is how we can use the JavaScript code in HTML with the help of EJS Templating Engine. So we just need to use this symbol, and then we just need to, so basically we need to write the JavaScript code inside this bracket. And then when we are going to run in the browser, you can see we are getting the title welcome to Express because this welcome to and the title is there. So this title we have defined in this, where we have defined the title app.js. In app.js, we have calling the routes index.js, means in routes index.js, we have defined the title, and this title we are using in the views. So in the views index.js, we are using the routing and we are getting this. Now let's say if in app.js, you can see here I have written if I'm using users, then call the users router. So let me call the users here. And then we can see we are getting respond with the resource. So I'm just going here and in the view folder, and then users.js. I'm just going into the user.js. I'm not calling any page here. I'm just saying send a response with the resource. It means I have not created any EJS file for the user's URL, and I'm directly displaying the response in the browser. So I just write it response.send. But in the previous example, in the previous index, it means if nothing is there in the URL, in the previous example, what we have done is we have created an index.ejs, and we said if nothing is in the URL, call the index and pass the object also which contain the title. So this is what we have done here. So guys, if you see the Express framework, basically contain this folder structure in which the node module is there. So node module, basically whenever we do npm install, I already told you multiple times, whenever we do npm install, it will install the dependency of the project. So in the package.json, if there is if there is total 6 modules. So when we do npm install, it will create a node module folder and keep every module inside it. Public folder is like only for images, JavaScript, and style sheet. Right now, we are not having any images or style sheet or JavaScript, so we are not using it. And let me check if this Express framework is given something. Yes, so they have given one style.css, so which we are using in the application. So this is the CSS page. There is a routes folder. I've already discussed you the index.js and users.js. I've already explained you. In the views also, I've explained you the index.ejs. There is a error.ejs also is there. And then in app.js, I've already explained you like what exactly we are doing here. And then the package.json. So guys, this is how the this is how the Express framework works. So it contain whenever we do the Express framework installation, so we are getting this folder structure which contain the templating engine also, which contains some routing code also, and then we can start to work on the top of the Express framework folder. So now if you want to add something more, you can directly do it here. So let's say in the routes, I want to add something more. So let's say I want to add there is a users.ejs is there. I'm just copying this and pasting it here only. So pasting here. Now you can see the users one.js. I'm just renaming this and making it, let's say, login.js. And then in this login.js, I'm just trying to create a new one. And so the login.js is created, and I'm just saying this one is a login page. And And then in the app.js, where I've defined this users router. So here I can create a new one, and then instead of users, I can say login router, login router, and then instead of users, I can write a login here because my page is login.js, and then this login router I can define below this. What I'm doing is I'm just copying this and pasting it below, and then just taking this login router and then pasting it here. I'm just saving the page, and I'm just what I need to do is um, so this is already done. Let me close it again, opening it, taking this Node.js framework. I'm directly doing the Node.js, taking it here, and then I have created a routes which is login.js. I am saying login page, and in the app.js, here I am saying if it is a login in the URL, then call the login router. So it will call the login router means routes the login, and then it will display the login page. So the code is done. Now let me run this in the browser. So I'm just opening in the terminal. I don't want to go in the bin folder. Okay, now here I can write npm start. So when I'm doing npm start, you can see that this is working, and I can give the login here, and you can see we are getting the login page. So guys, this is how we are adding something new. So I'm just displaying the login. I've just created a new page, and then I'm just displaying login page here. Now let's say if I want to create a view also, I can go here, create a new file. I can do one thing. I can just copy this and pasting it here only, and then just renaming this index to login.ejs, and then in the login.js. Okay, so if you can see in the index.js, we have done like this. So I'm just taking the same code, and in the login.js, instead of response.send login page, I'm saying response.render, and which page I want to render, login. And what is the title you want? I want this to be login page. And okay, and this is done. So now I want to run this again. So I'm just closing this editor project. Opening the terminal. Then npm start. When I'm running this, you can see login page render. Welcome to login page render. And instead of that, if I'm saying users, it goes to the users. If I'm not putting anything, it comes to the Xpress. This is how we can create a new routing. So like I've created a login, and then I've created a view also. And then I'm just passing the login object, the object which I've created here in the login.js. Here I've created the login.js. I'm rendering the login page and then passing the title, and then I'm just using the title here. So this is how we are calling the router, and this is how we are creating the new EJS page, which is the templating engine. So guys, the Xpress framework installation is done from my side. Even we have seen the routing also. So if you are having any queries, you can ask me.